The doctors may have called off the agitation and returned to OPDs, but they are still demanding certainty from the government that violence against healthcare providers, healthcare professionals and doctors will be put an end once and for all with a firm hand of the law. The Union Home and Health Secretaries are chairing a crucial meet on doctor safety today. State DGPs have also been called in to participate in the meeting. This after the Supreme Court appointed National Task Force to formulate a protocol for healthcare professionals met for the first time yesterday. My colleague Tanushka has spoken exclusively with one of the members of the National Task Force. Listen in to that interview.
Taking suo motu cognizance of the RG Kaur rape and murder case, the Supreme Court issued directives to form a national task force. I'm joined by one of the members of the National Task Force, Dr. Soumitra Rawat. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Dr. Rawat is also the chairman of surgical gastroenterology at Gangaram Hospital in Delhi. Doctor, beginning with the first meeting of the NTF that happened yesterday, what were, the key measures or points that were discussed in the meeting?
I think it was a great meeting and all the members were there, and it was chaired by the Cabinet Secretary, and we had Cabinet Secretary, Home Secretary, Health Secretary and all the members were in the meeting, and we had a very detailed and elaborate discussion regarding the issues of the doctors. As you know that we have been mandated by the Supreme Court, look at two specific things: how to prevent violence against the medical professional, and how to have a protocol for dignified and safe working conditions of the doctor. So we had a very elaborate discussion, point wise point. And before the meeting, we were also approached by a lot of stakeholders, and all the members, they were approached. There has been association and organizations which are representing Junior Doctor Association. We have a Surgical Association, Association of Surgeons of India. There is a IMA, Indian Medical Association. So they have also given various members their suggestions. So those suggestions and recommendations also we have given it to the Health Ministry.
Doctor, what are these major suggestions? Like, in what form can there be safety and security protocol ensured ahead?
I think you would have read the judgment of the Supreme Court, and they have specific mentioned how to prevent gender-based violence, national plan for dignified working condition of interns, junior doctors and non-resident doctors, provide the additional security in the emergency, baggage should be screened. So, security to manage the crowd, and then the adequate restrooms and biometric and facial recognition, and look into, how many hours doctors are working. So we discussed on each and every point.
Doctor, being a doctor yourself for these many years, you know the late hours that go in, and especially the concerns for female doctors. How was this topic raised in the meeting? And with respect to any sort of women guards, supposing being in place at late shifts?
I think we discussed all the aspect, and I am fortunate that I have got experience of working in a government hospital, because I was trained in Maulana Azad Medical College. So I did my graduation, post-graduation and registrarship in Maulana Azad Medical College, which is purely a government hospital. Then I went to England. I did my advanced training there, and then I was a consultant surgeon. Then I was a surgical tutor, and I'm still member court of examiner of Royal College of Surgeons of England. So I was there in England for 17 years, and I know how we provide security in the NHS, how to make dignified dignified condition and safe working conditions for doctor, and now I'm working in Sir Gangaram Hospital, and we have got roughly around 300 security staff in Gangaram Hospital, and we have got on-call duty room for all the doctors who are doing on-calls in Gangaram. We are the largest postgraduate training center for National Board of Examination. So, these are the things where the leaders, head of the department, dean, medical superintendent and director, they need to be proactive so that this horrendous thing which happened should not happen again.
So have such sort of like you mentioned on-call duty rooms, have such provisions been discussed to make these kind of provisions at government hospitals across the country?
We have discussed, as I told you, that we discussed each and every point, and we are going to have an interim report prepared in next 2 or 3 weeks, and final report we need to submit in next 2 months.
So, speaking of these reports, what we understand at this point that, all right, student protests and resident doctor protests also have come to a halt in Delhi especially. But in Kolkata, it's still going on. The movement still lives on. Considering that the main demand is for justice and, of course, stringent laws to be brought into place. All eyes are kind of now on this national task force. What in the future is, as you said, from the interim report and the final guidelines, can one expect from the NTF?
I think what I can assure all the doctors are that all of us in National Task Force, where there is a cabinet secretary, home secretary, health secretary, we are working very hard so as to focus on those two things: prevent the violence and provide a dignified, safe condition for the doctors. So obviously, we are all working forward. Interim report will come, and we will give we will also give a final recommendations, and that we have to submit within 2 months.
Doctor, when you speak about prevention of gender-based violence and sexual violence, will an internal complaints committee, ICC, be formed in each of these hospitals?
I think that is what that would be one of the point, that internal committee should be there, and especially when there is a violence or any problems female junior doctors have, the committee will have a significant number of women doctors so that they can directly approach the committee if head of the department or the head of the institution are not listening to their problems.
Thank you so much for your insight, Dr. Rawat. So that was Dr. Rawat telling us a broad list of actions that will be taken by the National Task Force, the primary objective being prevention of gender-based violence and sexual violence, for which an ICC, Internal Complaints Committee, will also be formed. With Arun Singh Negi, this is Tanushka Datta for NDTV.